Welcome back.
Hello, hello,
Oh no!
everyone, to my show, the LJL OU. Well, co-founded with Nightmare and Initializer. You just had them on earlier. Last one here, joined by the glamorous counterfeit cast with the LJL OU background. I love it. I love it. I could have done that, but I didn't. Well done, sir. Welcome to the broadcast.
I'm very glad to be here as well. Gosh, what a way to end out things here at the Super Week. We're
I
in a
mean,
world in which
I mean,
things are just not expected.
these are some. Let's set the stage correctly for our lovely audience out there. Sengoku have to win this match versus. Well, actually, we've got two matches. So we got obviously first one coming up is going to be Axiz versus Burning Core. Burning Core are dead. They
Yeah,
are dead now. Life would be nice for the players and the prospect of the talent and moving forward. Obviously, we would like to see Axiz pick up a win here because then that shows a lot of hopes moving into playoffs. The other game is going to be V3 Sengoku. Sengoku have to win to even have any hopes of making it out. And if they don't win it, they're insta lost. They're out. They're out of all of it. It's done and dusted. This first match, though, Axiz versus Burning Core. I want to see Megamin on an assassin. I want to see some fun stuff happening. I mean, Megamin is an assassin main. He was known in Scouting Grounds as the Z1 trick. He played Yone to really high levels. And I would love to just see more of that. Yasuo might be a bit too spicy, but hey, I'd be up for seeing like a Diana Yasuo kind of combo coming up from Hoggle and Megamin. Are there anything that you would like to see, as the stakes of this game aren't as high as the rest of them?
yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough time for Burning Core. I guess at least they can take comfort in being that they're helping prop up Axis's performance after Axis had a kind of rough yesterday, and
They did.
they need to get back on their winning ways before the end of the season. And what better way to do that than for Burning Core to serve as fuel for the Axis fire that will perhaps create a rocket that will torture this metaphor all the way to the heavens.
Well, we've already seen Axis win one game today on our broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, on our broadcast. If you're watching this in chronological order, apologies for the spoiler. I'm just expecting you've probably already looked at it because guess what? Super Week, 16 games. We're at the end of 16 games for the LJLOU here. We have done almost all of them live, and if we're not, we're doing it from our Blast of the Past just like this. And I've been told in my ear counterfeit that we already have pick and ban phase, so let's just go straight into it and get on to what we're expecting to see. Axis versus Burning Core. Already some batters have come through, counterfeit.
All right, cool. So we'll be looking out and seeing, certainly, coming into this one. We've seen a lot to like out of Axis. Of course, you can see the sad number over on the side there for Burning Core. I believe if they lose out here, this will be Burning Core's 10th loss in a row, while they have 10 losses already.
So they're trying to beat the DFM V3 streaks of 2020 of wins of 9, both pairing there. Obviously, we have witnessed that DFM has gone into that 9, tied it, and we'll see what happens next week. Burning Core, if they lose this, they're technically winning in streak-wise. They have tied their best loss streak ever of 10, where they went 0-10. So I mean, hey, let's see what they can do here. Viego, Thresh, and Ziggs off the table for the side of Burning Core. Don't want to give that over to Axis, and Axis banning away some junglers against Once, which I think makes total sense. Rayfarki's Jace causing them some issues. Want to give Inno a better matchup, and they're going to first pick in a Renekton. That's a bit bold, if I do say, from the Axis side.
Yeah, I think Axis are here for a scrap, and I would love to see it. I mean, now we're on 11 at point 14. It's certainly we're expecting, Viego, 99% presence, but you just go slightly further down that list, and you've got Gwen and Xin Zhao as well, who both are absolutely everywhere. But you called out the Diana as one you wanted to see before, and it will be here for Burning Core.
Yeah, not quite on the side or quite with the combo I was expecting, but hey, I'll take at least seeing my girl. The moon is rising, and maybe for Burning Core, if they can get a win, the moon is at least still coming up. Remember, they've only got that one win, which was back against Crest Gaming Act all the way back in week number 1 with that Twisted Fate, so they won't be repeating anything actually from that draft so far. And Honey is getting maybe one of the most prioritized AD carries at the moment. Definitely up there in the tier list. Aphelios over to the man who can play all the hyper carries and guarantee Axiz a win. What kind of support would you like to see paired alongside us, considering Thresh is banned?
Oh gosh, I think I'd like to see something kind of aggressive here because we've got, we've got the initial aggression coming out, and hey, it may not be a support, but I like to see some flame-broiled jungle coming through. So Rumble is to my taste indeed.
I mean, it's lovely, great setup with the ultimate, especially at 6 with the Renekton. So we've already got a great setup laying down there. And to kind of continue on that thought, obviously Gadiadu is currently figuring out. They're going to go for a support pick, partly to just take that away from the side of Axiz. I was expecting something like Leona has definitely been popping up in priority, all about the engaged champions. Though with Aphelios, you can have a lot more flexibility. Banning phase round number 2. I have to imagine now Axiz are going to ban away some of the other AD carries. Varus has to be coming out here. Jinx could even come out here. Callista. Twisted Fate is going to be banned, and that's all the way from that Chris Gaming act, which we saw. We've seen Gadiad have one good performance on, and then never really reprise it. What do you think so far, Counterfeit?
Oh, I'm kind of curious to see if the Nautilus gets left open for the second ban for Burning Core, but no. Gwen, we were talking about a little bit before, is banned away, so Nautilus is still pretty high up the tier list when it comes to supports, and still open for Axiz to grab for themselves.
Yeah, Gwen getting this far through is pretty surprising. Burning Core definitely could have taken it on that second rotation around, really prioritizing it. There's that Varus that I was mentioning, so at least a little bit of priority from Axiz over on their side. The great thing, the reason that you do that is because, yes, you can fight Aphelios against the Varus, but Varus can just have that late game poke threat, which just causes so many issues that you just don't ever want to deal with. Burning Core, Yuhi pulling out a Samira. Now, I don't actually think Yuhi has ever won a competitive game on Samira. I don't even know how many games he's actually played on that, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. We see a Galio locked in, obviously flex between mid and support, depending on how they feel. I don't feel like there's any other champions, so we are going to see Axiz's hand fully shown, just considering what it is. I'm assuming this Galio will go, so we'll see Megamin on something special. Okay, so Megamin Renekton, Inno's getting the Gnar up the top lane, and I have to imagine this Galio is going to support with obviously obvious places of Rumble going jungle. Burning Core, what are you going to do?
All right, I want to see something spicy here. I mean,
oh my god, you got it! You actually got it!
Yes! All right, it's all aboard the Burning Core hype train. What they've been doing this whole time is burning themselves as fuel. I think this is the moment. Last one. I think this is the moment. Burning Core. They've been... I'm assuming you've seen Dragon Ball Z.
Of course. I'm a huge fan of the game and
so
the series.
If you imagine that 10 episodes of going... were just instead losing games of League of Legends, then I think Burning Core have gathered enough spirit energy here to, to throw down the gauntlet in top lane and maybe cascade the whole game from there.
3 Farky Darius is known, it is primed, it is ready, and clearly the man wants to have some fun on the map, because why not? We've got Gadiadu playing the set. There's a lot of issues and problems and concerns I have around this lineup from Burning Core. They've got a lot of AD damage. If Once doesn't get going on this Diana, they actually have 0 AP damage if Once doesn't really get going. Yeah, they've got a little bit of stuff with the bleed effect, and Leona can put out stuff with her passive and everything, but it's not great. Whereas on the side of Axiz, they actually have Galio as a backup kind of thing. If Hoglet doesn't do it, Galio, Nemo can definitely show it, and Nemo has been shown to be a very keen support, whereas if Honey tells him to go in, Nemo will damn well go in, and we saw some of those Thresh hooks over the last few weeks. Nemo is really coming into their own. I'd love to see it. I'm just a little bit worried, if you are a Burning Core fan, how this game is going to turn out and how Yuhi on this Samira is going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, Yuhi has had their moments in the sun. There's not that many players who've had quadra kills. Yuhi, I believe, has had one in the past, at least. Although
yes, he's had a quadra kill, yeah.
Yeah, so it's possible. You've got Ray Farking, you've got Yuhi, both potentially with the chance to turn around a ludicrously long losing streak here. I mean, it's probably not the team you'd hope to try and do it against an Axiz, who seem to have been ridiculously resurgent through the season, but hey, stranger things have happened in the LJL.
Production has just come into my ears as a lovely sense of information. I was confused about the Samira Yuhi. I was like, well, I think he's only lost on it or anything. Production tells me he's never played this champion before, so it's going to be a first timing against a comp which isn't throwing out a huge amount of effects that Samira's Wind Wall will work well against. Galio just goes into your face and hits you. Aphelios, sure, you can definitely do it against his ultimate. Megamin isn't going to care, he's just going to go on top of you. Hoglet doesn't care, goes on top of you. Inno, well, you can stop the Q. I'm really confused by this Samira. I'm real confused. Honestly, if I could pick any champion here and you just, like, Yuhi gets to pick anything, I guess I want an Ezreal? At most, maybe an Ezreal for a bit of off AP damage. But I'm kind of stretching it here. And we're also getting told this is once his first time dying. Now, Burning Cora just throwing the book out. They're getting the Rayfarky Darius counterfeit. What are you feeling now that you know all of this?
So, given all of this in mind, I think what we're seeing here from Burning Core is an admission that their season has been an unmitigated disaster. So with that in mind,
yes,
they now say they don't need any of the normal things you'd normally need to back up a particular pick, like, say, have you played it before? Or is any of this sensible? I think for Burning Core, new is the way forward. Maybe if they're not going to change around their roster anytime soon, they can find different picks instead, but we seem to be on the precipice of Axiz resetting their winning streak coming towards the end of the season. They have been the big surprise, and now Burning Core will have to provide a surprise of their own if they're going to take down the new, I don't want to say top dogs, but near top dogs.
Yeah, Axiz have definitely come alive throughout this split and have definitely shown a bit of concerning points. I remember during, what was it? Week 5, so yesterday, obviously, they went 0-2 versus Sengoku and Axiz, and Detonation Focus Me. That was expected. A good win there for them, at least against Sengoku Gaming, the fact that they dropped that. And then the performance against DFM wasn't the strongest that we had seen from this lineup of the Narwhals, but they definitely have a win here. Will definitely help put a lot of things to bed. Burning Core are definitely the team where you want to do it. They have got triple Conqueror. Once Gadialu and Yuki are playing champions for the first time on a competitive stage, we got the Rayfarky Darius, and I'm guessing once his favorite support is Leona, or is Proud's favorite champion Leona, or maybe is he just tryharding when the rest of the team are just memeing?
Oh no, yes, Proud has at least played Leona before.
Oh yeah, no, Proud's Leona's sick. Don't get me wrong, like it's actually sick. His sickest champion is actually Set in my eyes, but that was when Set was Giga, like meta back in 2020, so season 10.
All right, well, Swan, let's start looking. Let's take our heads out of the past and turn them towards the future. So, what should our expectations be out of the various lanes here? Now we know that a lot of gauntlets have been thrown down.
Well, I'll tell you one thing when it comes to matchup predictions. I predict, along with most of our community, that actually no, all of our community except for Random Bot, Axiz will beat Burning Core here.
Okay.
So if anything happens, like we can now very much cast from the idea of like if Burning Core do this is surprising. This shows life and this shows some flexibility that potentially the team was still working out those kinks. They've had 2 splits. They've finally figured it out. Maybe this is something we can hope for the future. Or on the side of Axiz, this is 3 rookies, remember, with 2 veterans. One of these veterans, this is their second competitive year of playing of Honey, and Hoglet is only a little bit ahead of them. Inno, Nemo, and Megamin have never played professionally before, remember, before the 2020 split. And oh my god, Megamin?
Wow, the solo kill is made to look absolutely like it's nothing. What a great pickup there for Megamin. The TP will at least get Gary Aru back in again, but I don't know if they're going to end up liking what they find.
What a solo bolo coming out from the side of this rookie player, allowing his jungler to then come around, get this Scuttle Crab, and now you just get to look at the map, right? Because Renekton has just got ahead, TP play, and what's going on here, Counterfeit?
Oh boy, I mean, you can see that Mega Man is just
Just
posturing
zoning.
forward each time. You say, "You want that cannon minute? You want that cannon minute? Oh, it's gonna be lovely." But instead, you get yourself a face for Crocodile, and then the minions are there as well for any kind of follow-up to be just suicide. I really like what we're seeing here to start off
It
from
was the
Axiz.
yeah, that auto attack cancellation coming out from Gadiadu, preventing him from getting extra Conqueror stack. Mega Man played the slice and dice so perfectly throughout the wave. And yes, he is now slightly down in CS because there was a large push coming in from the side of Gadiadu. So now Mega Man's going to just clear that up. He'll be straight back at parity. And he has a kill. He just has a kill for himself just to think about and go, okay, I killed Gadiadu, that's good. Now where do we apply pressure? Well, the great thing is Rumble just wants to farm. The fact that you have a scaling jungler against another scaling jungler of Diana, and that both of these sides just want to go, how can we scale up as best as possible? And Mega Man's looking again, he's got level advantage.
He's got the pickaxe as well, so the trade is going to be pretty tough. Nemo making the moves up there to maybe look for the play. Gary Arrow does still have the flash available in case that goes through, but nothing sticking as of yet. I think perhaps Mega Man, being as strong as they are, is going to force Gary Arrow to stay further away.
I don't blame them as well. And the concerning thing you have here is the moment that Mega Man hits 6, you know he will either look to get a kill on Gadiadu because he will have that level advantage for at least probably a wave and a half. And if not, he's got TP up still. He hasn't expended that. So there's a damn good chance that he will actually try and find a spot where he can dive bot or dive top or do a rotation or do something with Hoglet and really secure and keep the momentum pushing forward. And we're already seeing it now. He's hit 6.
Yeah, Axiz, they are very quick to make their move onto the first objective. So the mid lane, pretty definitively won out there. The one that killed to nothing down the bottom side. The pressure's being applied by Axiz as well. So there's very little room for Burning Core to make any kind of counterplay onto this first Drake.
Yeah, just securing turrets over, trying to get some turret plating gold out. No one has actually got one down yet. We're still only 6 minutes in, so this game has still got a lot to play for. It's just surprising that the tempo of this game potentially could be thrown a lot faster. It's going to be very important that Axis have already got that solo kill, the isolated gold and everything. Mega Man is 6 over Gadiadu's 5, and he's well aware that if Gadiadu goes a bit too far ahead, he's just gone. 6 is just coming for Gadiadu, so now that threat isn't there anymore. But Honey has been quietly farming. He's got a full wave of farm over you. He 6 minutes in. That's another way you can increase the tempo. You can increase the tempo by getting the neutral objectives, and the game will just keep going faster. Mega Man is going to find once here and actually steals the Scuttle Crab. That's rude, mate. That is just rude.
Oh my gosh. So, let's take stock. We're now 6.5 minutes in. Let's talk, in the context of Axis having gotten that first kill, what's the next steps of both these teams?
Well, I mean, if you're Burning Core, you need a 1. Try and stem this bleeding a little bit. A 1k gold lead has already come out at 6 minutes in. We need to prevent that from happening and potentially try and find a dive. The issue is, once isn't going to have anything till 6. Once Diana does hit 6, a lot more kill pressure will be coming out from the side because the ganks actually have far more potency and power. You can do ganks at 4 with Diana and even 3. I have done that before in solo queue, but it becomes very difficult. 6 basically guarantees you the kill with both of it. Great thing about Diana, you can do double farming at the same time, similar with actually with Rumble. So both these junglers are going to be getting 6 very soon. Hoglet's already hit it once there, and we're going to start seeing some jungle action. Hopefully Burning Core on once can actually find a way into this game.
Well, something I've been noticing as we get a chance to catch our breath a little bit and Hoglet makes some invading moves in.
You think that?
Yeah, Gary Arrow is going to get locked in place as Nemo is again lurking around the mid lane. Hoglet once cannot see this play coming, but Wise, they're going to check out that brush before going in. So one thing I want to talk about before this all started was, we have been seeing from Burning Core, they've been putting a lot of vision over towards the blue buff of Axis, presumably trying to catch where Hoglet is going to make their first play.
Yeah, absolutely. Tracking the pathing is one of the things that Once does brilliantly against a lot of other junglers. He is able to kind of help map out a way for his team to just be aware of Their jungle is probably going to go from here to down here, and then probably around into like another section. Obviously, it's very dynamic, and it changes upon the situation, the actual lane states, and so many other things. Once is one of these players that has very much kept Burning Core in the past in a spot where at least that's happening. And even in some of their losses across this summer split, he has still been able to do that. It just hasn't been working out with the rest of the team. The rest of some of the numbers haven't been able to pull their weight, haven't been able to actually kind of get into a spot where they can be rather fortuitous and actually find a kill. As it's sadly looking, it looks like a bunch of these young rookie players that are hungry for competition are going to try and find something on Mega Man right now.
Well, there's the ult coming straight away. Mega Man will be able to ult back out of trouble, though. I think, as we've seen, Gary Arrow just feeling like they're very, very weak at the moment. Even when once helping them, they can't force a kill through.
Well, just look at the build. They've gone for plated stone keeps. First game, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you don't have any damage, and your base damage it's fine, but you definitely have to be bullying and kind of chunking. And Renekton, or at least Mega Man's Renekton in this matchup, is preventing any of that from happening. So at the moment, hey, you got the solo kill at level 3 versus level 2. Any form of threat that Gariadu had has been absolutely eliminated, and the only saving grace is you can be like, well, Mega Man doesn't have ult now, so when Dragon comes up, potentially it will only just come up and sync. We'll have to wait and see.
Certainly for Axiz, they've had some very nice objective control so far. So first Drake in hand, they've got the Herald as well, and it's looking like they may have a chance of picking up a second Drake that Inferno just mentioned as well. I wonder if, if and when we see Burning Core actually try and fight back on the objective front.
I mean, we will expect to see it definitely in the next 45 to 50 seconds. Rift Herald Rift Herald will also be an important spot to look at and observe. Obviously, Hoglet was able to also secure that, so potentially number 2 will be the spot. We haven't seen much roams, or any roams really, from Proud. He's kind of just been showing up a little bit after the plays have happened, so that's another spot where potentially Burning Core can find something, but the golden place at the moment is currently Ray Farkey. He's the first one to hit 100 farm in this game. Mega Man very quickly joins him as well. So maybe that's where you try and hope to find something, because Ray Farkey has been mostly untouched. He's just going to be quietly farming, and then once those first mythics start coming in, maybe that's a spot where you can be like, Burning Core, right, this is where you need to play around. Samira is going to take a while to scale, especially against an Aphelios at this point, especially when we don't even know what the known quantity of Yuki on Samira looks like, whereas we definitely know what the known quantity of Honey is on Aphelios. He is one of the scariest players on any hypercarry. Remember, he's undefeated still on Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you really want when you're trying to build up a team, is to get that reputation in one of their players. It looks like for Burning Core, they've decided this is the fight that they're going to take. The gold isn't massive for Axiz, but we can see that the Drake has already done quite a lot of damage already. Rumble's going to get hold of the Drake, so ultimately, Burning Core just set up, and then the equalizer on the way out. A nice slap in the face from Axiz for Burning Core even getting the thought of contesting an objective.
And I love this, because look at this. This has just forced a stalemate where they can't even go back down to their bot lane. They just want to try and get these turrets. There's a huge wave, and actually they're forcing it.
There isn't an equalizer anymore, but yeah, the Herald into the tower. The TP coming in as Axiz looks to start the fight up. Nice solar flare sets up the play, but Honey is still going to be coming in, providing absolutely tons of damage. Proud diving in, but exploded as well. Axiz are cleaning up here. The Burning Core health bars are disappearing. Honey is still full up and available. Ray Farkey goes back in, does get the kill, looking for the multiple executes, can't quite make it happen. Gary Arrow with no damage at all. No, there's the damage charging in. Ino is just about alive. It was closer than we thought, but Axiz still come out ahead.
But and this whole time, the Rift Herald was actually just smacking away on the bot tier 1 turret. It's at 1 turret play already. They might be able to end this with Inno as well. So huge pickup for the side of Axiz here. And this all goes so perfectly because Honey is so hard. You could arguably call him Honey with how hard he is to get. Not sticky, the opposite side. Anyway, I'll stop with this analogy. Amazing start here coming out from Nemo, realizing that guess what, we need to go. And they used an ultimate. They used a set ultimate onto him. That's who you went to it. Yuki goes down very early, and then Proud kind of dies for his sins to try and lock it up. And once saved the ultimate for so long, gets actually 0 amounts on it. It's like, well, this fight's lost. Ray Farkey absolute man mode, does get the Q there, huge heals up, but then it's Gadiadu who's actually able to get it with the set. That was just so lucky to get it onto Honey. But then you just have to look at the health bars of Megamin and Inno at the end of this. They're so healthy. One of these is a Meganar, so put an asterisk next to it. But Megamin was so healthy, and just look at the damage. Basically, Megamin and Honey dealt the exact same amount. Rayfarky with his hero play, and it was a hero play of using Ghost and Flash during that fight throughout all of it to get it, and Rayfarky's now getting targeted.
That was so nicely done from Axiz. I think it was that last fight that clued up Axiz that the Darius of Rayfarky could be a legitimate threat under the right circumstances. So immediately, they bring their resources to bear, set up a beautiful equalizer play, and we're going to see almost simultaneous takes of both the top and the bottom tower, and that is almost all of the plates taken on both.
1,280 plate gold alone for the side of Axiz. That is so much, and you just have to look at how much. Oh my god, they've almost got all of them almost have double what Nemo has, which, let's be real, is exactly what you want. Your Galio doesn't need to. He has abilities to assist the rest of the team. The rest of the team can have 6k gold and start working on their second item. They've already got their mythic, they've already got full boots, and let's start to work. Honey's so confident he's gone for a second cull. Actually, no, that's not a second cull. That is the first cull. He's just going for a late game cull because he's like, it's fine. I'll get the money. It doesn't matter. Burning Cool, though, a question you asked me earlier, are they going to get any form of objective control? Rift Herald! Hey!
I mean, it didn't work out tremendously going for the Drake before. We can see that the vision is totally there for Axiz, but the Herald is going down pretty darn quickly. We're going to look, of course, nice play onto Hoglet means that the Equalizer can't come out straight away. Galileo will be able to intervene and divide up the play, but the Equalizer's right in the middle of the team fight. Hoglet picks a 1 kill, and the rest of Burning Core, without getting a single kill back, they are gone.
I need to rewatch that. Did Honey just 1v1 once? Did an Aphelios actually just 1v1 a Diana who ulted? I mean, as a Diana one-trick lover, I am going to be hugely concerned if that happened. I mean, to be fair, you've got Mythic. You know that no way that can happen. No. Regardless, Axiz just won that game off that play. Well done on the play-by-play casting on that one. That was very nice. I like that one. And there's nothing else to say counterfeit. Like, it's 15 minutes in and this game already feels a little over.
Let's curse Burning Core with some low expectations. At least they came out of this team fight with a Herald.
Okay, so I'm going to watch Honey when he gets here. Great stopwatch on here by Hoglet. He does force it, and the immediate knock-up just forces Gadiado out of this fight, and he doesn't do anything. Honey does, it's actually... Yeah, no, Honey just actually 1v1s Diana. He does get taunted. He does get taunted going into that from Nemo, but actually it's just Honey 1v1ing once being an assassin champion and couldn't kill an Aphelios. That's terrifying for the later game. Good ult to try and zone from Proud there, and let's see how they try and attack this one from Axiz.
Alright, so Equalizer will chunk out Rayfarky, and once before the fight even starts. Last time that we were at the Drakes, it was stolen away by Axiz. Burning Core are so far behind at this point, but nice triple catch. Honey is going to be down very low, but they're healing back up again and again. Honey is getting through these fights completely fine. Rayfarky and Guerrero will at least survive to the end, but no objectives for you, Burning Core. With the exception, I suppose, of that single Rift Herald, everything else has been denied from you.
It's still in Wance's inventory, so we'll have to see where they decide to put that down. But yeah, can't
Maybe they
kill
can get
Honey.
their first power with it.
Yeah, that's the hope, right? You gotta live on a dream. 10k gold lead at 17 minutes and 30 seconds into this game, and coming into this replay. I like this zoning equalizer. It basically forces Rayfarky and Wants away from the rest of the crowd unless they want to kind of engage back in. It does allow the Dragon to soft reset and the damage keeps going, but look at Gadiadi. He's in no man's land. Wants gets an amazing ultimate, but he doesn't have a stopwatch, so he just eats so much damage and is running away and then just dies afterwards. And then once 3 of the members die, you look at Rayfarky, Gadiadi should have died, and Rayfarky escapes as well, but again, this just seems like they try and use everything, and yet Inno and Megamin just are unkillable monsters, actual monsters, because one is a prehistoric Yordle and the other is a large crocodile. So figuratively and literally. I'm very happy with that analogy. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Oh, I mean, looking back at that last fight. Oh wait, actually, probably maybe not even get the chance. Hoglet is out of position here. Burning Core aren't collapsing on the Rumble and just allowing for them to get away. The Herald comes out in the mid lane. Nice flash forward, double catch with a taunt. TP's driving the rest of the members of Burning Core. Whereas Yuhi is low. Inferno Trigger comes out, but they are still too weak. No kills so far. Garriaro trying to sell their life dearly, but Burning Core's lives, as we have already established, are not worth very much at all. Chasing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, it's not even worth playing it at this point, is
it? you know it's bad when Counterfeit gives up on it. And he's like, mate, it's done. You're dead. Just give it up.
Well, Burning Core, they're playing the last fights we saw them in. They were playing the team fight like they were even. If Yuhi had any strength behind them at all, then that combo play could have worked. But a full 5v5 when you're this far behind, surely Swan, that never works.
I mean, we actually just watched it. Of course it never works. This is like, look at how ballsy Nemo is here. He's just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to go on Yuhi as well. I'm not even going on Once, because guess what? Once was shown to lose a 1v1 against Honey. Guess what? Immediately when he's worried about Honey, he's like, I'm going to ult onto him. I'm going to knock everybody up. Don't worry. I've got you. Protect the President came through. So what happens here? So, oh, okay. They both smite. Hoglet gets 12 versus Once at 10. And then, yeah, I mean, one player has like 1.5k, 2k gold ahead of the other. So who should win here? Oh yeah, that Ray Farkey wasn't in that fight also, because Nemo just...
That's what I was going to say. That was the thing that upset me the most about the replay. It was not anything that happened in the fight. It's what happened after the fight, which is Ray Farkey coming from the top of the screen and saying, hey guys, what's going on? Is there a team fight? Oh, everyone's dead. Maybe I should have brought teleport.
At least we can say that there is a positive. There is a positive out of the end of this game, and I've already...
Oh, wait a second, Honey. Could they actually die? They do! You know, it's going to be in a little bit of an awkward spot here, but the equalizer is beautifully placed again. Hoglet absolutely on point. Barbecue City. Hoglet is going to be forced into stasis. Yuhi, I don't think there's any way out for them. They'll try and buy time for the rest of the team to fall back. Proud is off the back of the fight, having already been driven out. As Ray Farkey comes in, misses with the axe. Garriaro does have the shield. Hoglet gets executed, so Ray Farkey at least gets something out of the deal before dropping themselves. Proud recalls to watch the inexorable advance of Axiz towards the base.
Well done, Burning Core. You identified that maybe one of the best players on the side of Axiz is the unkillable machine himself, the AD carry S tier, according to the LJL OU. Thank you, us. Honey, you killed Honey. Well done. But I already told you the monsters were Megamin and Inno. Wrong guy, guys. It's a bit awkward. Once goes literally everything on to try to kill Honey here, and they do get him. But the problem is the fallout. What happens after this? Well, they all die. That equalizer comes through and absolutely uses it. Yuhi's just ulting nothing for a period of time of that, actually, which is impressive because you need to have a champion near you for Samira. Hoglet immediately stasises, doesn't care, and now he's just showing why he was the top jungler in the LJL according to our tier list. Once again, I'm just going to keep shouting that out because, I mean, this is Axiz on like kind of a tier list run. Like, this is trying to show that how great they are compared to the veterans of the LJL, which I would argue some of these players on Burning Core are veterans. They have been around for a long while. And Axis' rookies coming in and they're going, hey, don't worry about it. New bloods here. We're going to take over. 4 dragons in 22 minutes. 11k gold lead. And Axis look unstoppable.
Oh boy, you talk about your tier list. I think Burning Core will have to try and make sure they're not blinded by the tiers of everything that's happened so far. Cloud Soul. We're looking at probably a Baron to finish the game here for Axiz, as they've got 2 players with 8 kills or 8 assists in, that's Ino and Megamin, who have both yet to die a single time in this game. That's the Gnar and the Renekton, 2 melee damage dealers, who both have been untouched.
What a performance for Inno. He's never won a game on Nah. He's 0-4 with it, and now he's become this 8-0-9 terrifying Nah, just running out of the corners, absolutely looking at four members and going, I'll Mega Nah you, and it's probably going to be fine because I know Hoglet will ult, and it's going to work out. I mean, what a way to try and actually pad those stats up and actually make it look like it wasn't all your fault.
What you see, that's a good way to confuse casters, is to have one really, really good game, because then your average stats not champion, you're like, they're not bad on them. They're not bad on them at all. They've certainly shown that they've improved a dramatic amount as Burning Core. They start to do a little bit more of what I would hope they would have maybe done earlier, which is not take team fights, but try and make picks instead.
I just hope that Axiz are able to end this game cleanly and effectively. This realistically shouldn't get to the 30-minute mark unless something like a travesty actually happens from Axe's perspective, or hope actually comes out from Burning Core. They're going to need a hope, probably living on a prayer. Probably.
Sorry, that was absolutely beautiful. Hoglet waited for Proud to get most of the way through their recall, just so they would take their concentration away. Then they dropped the equalizer on them to try and catch them while they had the shop open and kill them for an additional time.
Why not? Just make sure you get the full death timer amount of time. There's AFK time, as you said, in the shop, and there's AFK time when you're at the shop. So why not try and do double down? Just take their whole health bar, and guess what? They've got Cloud Soul, so Hoglet's ultimate's almost up already.
Yuhi is going to get ripped apart by just basic abilities there from Honey, who's got the Collector to get paid more for it as well. Proud, trying to make a flank around the side of the team, will just instead feed the machine of Axiz even more. I mean, coming to, I guess, are we kind of treating this as the end of Super Week, or are we treating this as the midway point of the
This is virtually the end for us now, yes.
End of our broadcast of Super Week is maybe a better way of putting it.
Yes.
Now coming close to the end of the season as well. Axiz, they're looking absolutely fantastic here. It's almost like they're looking in the mirror of, the mirror of seasons past for Axiz, when they were a joke of a team.
Agreed.
And now they get to make the other team look the way that they did in the previous seasons.
Yeah, Axiz have definitely historically been a team where they have struggled to find success. In 2020, obviously, they had their 7-7, which brought great hope and joy before they got 3-0'd in playoffs in the first game against Crest Gaming Act and Aria themselves, causing huge issues against actually Gadiadu at that time, who was on Axiz. Sadly, Gadiadu apparently has brought the curse with him to Burning Core, or maybe Burning Core already had it because they were the only team to go to end a split without getting a win. So hey, both of these teams have seen some good, seen some bad. As it stands currently, though, Axiz are definitely looking primed and ready to win this game. I imagine they're just waiting for that Elder Drake, and they will probably end this in probably 5-10 minutes. Hopefully just end it clean. Don't let this game go out too long. Axiz looks strong, and this is a good form for them because this is a way to make up for yesterday of Super Week where they went 0-2 against Sengoku and Destination Focus Me.
Yes, I think DFM, showing that Axiz still have room to grow, but for Burning Core, they've got new depths to reach, and of course, with me not being a regular caster on the FPL unofficial broadcast, I can flame teams a lot more effectively than people who have to stick around. As the equalizer comes out for Burning Core, they are forced to retreat back along the path, and results may seem to be predictable here, as we've yet to see Burning Core get a single kill back. Honey and the rest of the squad, flashing, you gotta finish the job. No, Ray fucking gets the shutdown gold. WP Burning Core, they got what they wanted.
Oh, but they might get that. Oh god, Hoglet. Oh, mama. I think Ray Farkey's just gonna let that game go. We got the 1k shutdown goal, but guess what? Still it's 200.
Well, at least Ray Farkey has padded their stats as much as all of Axiz have done the same. Axiz, triumphant, transcendent, and now in an incredible position coming into playoffs.
what a performance from this Axiz team. Really turning it around from day one of Super Week. We hadn't seen a lot from them from yesterday. It was looking very worrying. Week 4 as well wasn't the flawless week that we really were hoping for when they did beat the Rascal Jesters, but they lost to Crest Gaming Act. So kind of the reverse order of where you would expect those wins and losses to come up. Hey, this win was really good. We know as well, because of the future or the past, that they also beat Crest Gaming Act. So 2-0 week for Axiz, really good turnout for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better way to reset the bad taste from the mouth of the previous week going 0-2. If they carried on losing at this point, then I think we'd have some much larger questions of, was it all a mirage? Was it some other team playing as Axiz and they just got confused in the labeling office? And all this time, it's been a horrible, horrible mistake.
Well, thankfully not. It wasn't Detonation Focus me with doing the Utapon only carry, similar to 2021 Spring. We love you, Coach Kazu. We love you. Burning Core, though. What? What? What happened?
I think Ray Farkey, by the end of that one, if they had been, I don't want to say better, I feel like they were the bright spot in that game for Burning Core, in that they actually didn't get stomped. And maybe in a more even game, they could have been a difference maker. Because, they had the Darius, they had the chance to reset in fights, and you saw they had the will to make the plays. They were flashing in, finding those executions and such. I just think it was such a tough environment with the rest of Burning Core getting steamrolled that they never really had the chance to thrive in the way they should have.
I completely agree. And even on a non-meta champion, let's be kind to him, it is his favorite champion of that Darius, and hey, he made it look good at points. He did that superhero move, remember, where he flashed in, did the Q, got the 3-4-man one with the gore drinker and everything. It looked like for a short period of time, hey, maybe they can turn this. Turned out no, because Megaman and actually Inno were still full health. Well, Inno wasn't, like a quarter health, but Megaman was well and truly ready to keep going for a lot while longer, and they were able to do it. But for us here, we're going to take a very short break, but when we come back, we'll be with our final game of V3 Esports facing off against Sengoku Gaming. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.